Well, good morning from the Oklahoman's video studio. Dave Morris alongside Mike Knopp, Executive Director of the Oklahoma City Boathouse Foundation, our weekly update of all things going on along the Oklahoma River. And an exciting week this past week.
Yeah.
And before we move forward, let's back up a little bit and look at how are things going. We've been talking about the RIVERSPORTS Rapids a lot, and on your Facebook page, I see rafts on the water.
That's right. We had our first raft guide day of training on Saturday, which was really great, and it was just really it was neat to see all the rafts on the water, and they were doing a lot of their flat water training, so just learning how to maneuver the raft, and they did some fun things like they had to jump out of the raft or jump off the side and then swim under the raft so they could get comfortable with being under a raft and in the water and all those kinds of things that they had to learn before turning the whitewater on. But we had a full class and a lot of smiling faces. I think people are excited.
Yeah, what was the feedback?
Well, I think whenever anybody goes in there, they're overwhelmed by the scale and just the overall quality. I think it's really going to surprise a lot of people. And of course, images of this have been getting really truly around the world as people are posting things, and it gets out to various different Facebook pages around, or again, in the paddle sports world. And so it's definitely going to, I think there's a lot of people eager to come, and I've had a lot of requests for people to be our test dummies. So I think we'll have no problem with that.
It's like when you walk into a new restaurant. Yeah, sure, I will test drive that chicken dish for you.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, water was in there. Then the pumps were turned on. How are the pumps going?
Going pretty well. Of course, we're still in that tuning phase. We put 3 pumps on, and then one new thing this week, we were able to get our head gate finished and operational, which means we can actually shut the recreational channel and put all the water down the competition channel. So when we did that, we did that with we had a media tour last week along with the MAPS 3 subcommittee, and so all that water from 3 pumps went down the competition channel, and you can get an idea of just how action-packed that ride will be when you're going down that channel. But we had kayakers out demonstrating, and it was the first time just having that amount of flow in that channel. You can see really what it's going to be like. It's kind of like putting all 6 pumps on with both channels open, but since we closed one, all that water went down one channel with 3, and it really was a sight to behold, and just the roaring water and as with a lot of the feedback we were getting from the paddlers out there was, man, this is a really exciting course because it's fast paced, and they constantly are tweaking it. So once the water then stops, they go in and they adjust the rapid blocks to just fine tune it to make sure the rapids are just perfect and just where they need to be. But so far, really rave reviews.
You had the MAPS 3 Citizens Advisory Board come out for a tour, as you mentioned last week. At this point, I guess you're probably in the education phase of, hey guys, we've been talking about this, take a look.
Well, I think it is very satisfying for people to have been having worked on this for several years now, to see it actually come to fruition. And it's one thing to see all these plans and technical details about the pump house and rapids and how it all, and for the novice out there who maybe didn't know a lot about whitewater, to come see it in person. I think it's very exciting, and I could see the excitement in everyone's face when they all gathered around the pump house with the kayaks on concrete, and then they turned the water on, and then the water came through the pumps, and it was a big moment, and the kayaks started floating and taking on the whitewater at that point. So it was a pretty neat thing.
It's like Moses, you say something and suddenly there's water everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of education, though, you have something called FitQuest.
Yes.
Can you explain what that is?
Well, this is our initiative where we're going out into schools really across Oklahoma City, but we've really been in schools across Oklahoma. And what we do is my staff, we take our rowing machines, and we have a whole curriculum that involves, it's a multi-week curriculum, in fact, where they go and kids learn about physical fitness, of course rowing, kayaking, water sports, but it's really more than that. It's about how being fit and having a healthy lifestyle can be fun. You may have not connected to another sport perhaps, but just also showing kids how being active is something that is good for the rest of their life, and so they have a lot of games that are connected to that, and of course they have little competitions on the rowing machines, and then what happens is at the end of the multi-week period, all the schools that are participating, they show up at the boathouse and they have a little race, and they race each other on the machines, and we put it on a big video screen, and they can watch themselves race as they would on the river against the other schools, and then they have a field trip and get to do all the fun activities at the river. So that's just one part of our Fit Quest program. We also do assemblies where we'll go to just for a one-day experience at schools, and we're really trying to show administrators and schools really across the whole state, but specifically here in Oklahoma City, how the river is really a huge resource. I mean, it's a world-class asset that we want all of our kids to be able to experience, not just from a fitness standpoint, but there's a lot of education, that can be had when you come to the river from the STEM education initiatives that we're starting. I mean, after all, this whitewater center is kind of an engineering marvel. I mean, when you look at how the pumps work and all the hydrodynamics involved in that center, I think there's a tremendous educational value to that, and we want to offer that to schools
How
to
cool
come
is that? The
experience
students
that.
get to go
Yes.
see how the big machinery
Yeah.
works, and then the end result of you're looking out there. That's the result of what this
Yeah.
pump does.
Yeah, exactly. And when you look at the Whitewater Center and you look at how we make these rapids, in some ways it's a little like Legos. I mean, we've got these things called rapid blocks, and we stack them and we move them around, and it creates different configurations for our rapids. And we can actually have kids design a rapid and then put it into play in real life in the Whitewater Center. So, yeah, just a lot of really neat things that I think we're going to be able to do that add value to the educational experience for kids in Oklahoma City.
Also shows some of the thought that went into this during the planning stages over the past couple of years, right?
Absolutely. It's much more than just whitewater rafting, which is of course a big part of it, but it's these educational pieces for kids. It's our swiftwater rescue pieces that will come into play as well. So just a lot of value in how this Whitewater Center and the river in general is really going to I think, affect the culture and lifestyle and educational initiatives here in Oklahoma City.
And we're just a month away from an opening. Before we get you out of here, you're booking raft trips this week.
We are. It's that time. So by the end of the week on our website, we will be booking these trips for the first raft sessions coming up. So if you're interested in being among the first, it'll be a chance to get your name on the list and booking a trip. We also, of course, we have our annual passes also for sale now, and that's also on our website as well.
It's amazing all the other things you have access to. You get the pass. There's just a lot of things you can participate in out there.
Yeah, there is. It's a tremendous value in that not only do you get to go whitewater rafting whenever you want, or hopefully once you get into it, go kayaking in whitewater or tubing, but we will have all of our adventure features: the Sky Trail, the brand new big slides, all the things in the Boathouse District, but also Lake Overholser. We talked about that last week. Mm-hmm. We have all these new attractions at Lake Overholser and the Wildlife Refuge, and we're getting ready to start programming at Lake Hefner. So your pass it'll keep you busy all summer.
Keep you in good shape as well. Mike Knopp, as always, we appreciate starting the week with you and the conversation. Congrats on how things are going out there.
Thank you. It's a very exciting time, and we look forward to showing it off.
All right, very good. Again, RIVERSPORTS Rapids grand opening May 7th and 8th, right?
May 7th and 8th, yes.
Be here before you know it.